Everyone in the village of Umueze knew who Mama Ifoma was. She was the old bent woman who sat quietly at the far end of the village market, surrounded by herbs and roots. Her stall always smelled strange, a mix of bitter leaves, strong roots, and things no one could name. On her table, there were bottles filled with colorful liquids, dried plants tied in bundles, and carvings that looked too scary to touch. Nobody ever asked her what they were for. Parents always warn their children, don't go near that woman. Traders never spoke to her directly, but whispered when she passed. People said she had been old since they were children. They said her eyes turned red when the sun was hot. And once someone saw her talking to a snake, and the snake bowed its head before slithering away. Still, no one ever went to challenge her. Why? Because even though she dressed like someone with no money, she never lacked food. Every morning, before the sun rose, her stall already had customers, quiet ones who came and left quietly, and anyone who insulted her or tried to mock her, something bad always happened to them. People said it was just a coincidence, but not everyone believed that. One bright morning, a new girl came to the market. Her name was Ada. She was young, full of confidence, and had just come back from the city. She didn't believe in village superstitions or stories about witches and spirits. She opened a small fruit stall right next to Mama Ifoma's stall. On her very first day, Ada smiled brightly and greeted her neighbor. Good morning, Mama. Mama Ifoma didn't say a word. She just looked up slowly and gave a small nod. Her eyes were cloudy, almost grey, and there was something cold about them. Ada felt a chill run down her spine, but she shook it off. Maybe the woman was just old and tired. As the days went by, Ada noticed something strange. Her fresh fruit started going bad too quickly, even the ones she had just bought. Flies gathered around it. The sweet smell of ripe fruit turned sour in just a few hours. Customers who used to smile and buy from her now walked past her without even looking. One morning, the trader beside her leaned closer and whispered, You made a mistake. You placed your stall next to her. You must respect her, you must greet her well, or maybe it's safer if you move. Ada rolled her eyes and laughed. Auntie, please, that's just village talk. Fruits spoil and it's normal. But deep inside her, she was beginning to feel something wasn't right. Then one hot afternoon, the market turned upside down. A loud scream pierced the air. A woman had dropped her basket and was shouting, holding her baby. People gathered quickly. The baby, who hadn't made a sound all day, was now speaking. Not crying, not babbling, speaking full words like an adult. Everyone stood still. With a strange voice, the baby said, She is among us, the one who walks between two worlds, the one who calls spirits by name. The market went silent. Some people started shaking. Others slowly turned their heads, all eyes fixed on Mama Ifoma's corner. She didn't speak. She didn't blink. She just sat there, looking calm as if nothing strange was happening. Then the baby lifted a finger and pointed right at her. The snake who walks in rain, the one who hides in plain sight, the old who becomes young. She is here. Gasp filled the air. Mama Ifoma slowly stood up. Her body was bent, but her movements were smooth. The crowd moved aside for her. No one wanted to stand in her way. She walked gently towards the baby. When she reached him, she looked down into his eyes and said in a quiet voice, You saw too much, child. Then she placed her wrinkled hand on the baby's forehead. The baby dropped, not dead, but fainted like light had gone out of him. His mother screamed and held him tight, then turned and ran out of the market. People began to whisper among themselves. Their voices were shaky, filled with fear. Nobody could understand what they had just witnessed. Some women held their children tightly. Some traders slowly packed their goods, trying to act normal, but their hands were shaking. Then one bold trader, a man known as Ozoimena, shouted, We can't continue like this. We can't let one woman scare the whole market. He marched towards Mama Ifoma with heavy steps, but before he could reach her, his foot caught something. No one saw what it was, and he fell hard. His head hit a stone by the roadside. Blood came out. He didn't move. People screamed. Two men ran to help him. He was still breathing but completely unconscious. That was it. People had seen enough. The news spread fast. She is a witch. She has cursed the market. She must go. That evening, as the sun was setting, a group of villagers, men, women, even the market elders gathered to send Mama Ifoma away. They were ready to burn her stall if they had to. But when they got there, they saw nothing. Her stall was gone. Not one bottle, not one dried leaf, not one single carving. It was as if she had never been there at all. Even the space where she used to sit was clean. Not a single trace of her left behind. Everyone looked at each other confused and afraid. No one spoke. They just went home quietly. But the next morning, something very strange happened. Every stall in the market, from the fish seller to the clothes trader, had a small piece of black cloth tied to one corner. No one had placed it there. No one knew where it came from. Panic broke out again. Some people said it was a curse. Others said it was a sign of protection. Maybe from Mama Ifoma herself. Nobody truly knew. But one thing became clear. The market changed forever after that day. Some traders claimed they still saw her, not every day, but once in a while. They said she would appear out of nowhere, sitting behind a store that didn't exist. She wouldn't speak. She would just smile at the space in front of her, as if someone was standing there. And Ada, she never returned. Some people said she ran back to the city out of fear. Others believed something worse happened, that she lost her voice that day and couldn't speak again. As for the baby, the one who had spoken with the voice of an elder, he never said another word after that market day. Years passed until his 18th birthday. He woke up that morning, sat on his bed, looked straight ahead, and whispered just one sentence: "She is coming back."